when I first started learning about supplements, I found it very overwhelming, and everyone's telling you to have this and telling you to have that. And I remember at one point on my bench, I had like 20 different tablets, and I was like, oh my God, like financially I can't keep this up, and I just don't even know what I'm having and why I'm having it. I'm just, it's just yuck. So I'm really excited that we're finally able to talk about what we've formulated together. And once again, I can't take all the credit, so I thought I'd ask you a couple of questions and help hopefully break it down and make it simple for everyone to understand a little bit more about supplements.
Simple's not my...
Why do we supplement?
I really think it's purely just like insurance, really. You know, we know that we have essential vitamins and minerals we need every day, and if they're not available to our body, certain processes, and any process can't happen. And then we know that, and then we know that, okay, even if we're eating great, slowly, food's got less of these nutrients in it, and on the other side, compared to what we used to be, we use up these nutrients way more. If you're super active, you need more. Super stressed, work,
not sleeping much.
We're not meant to be working 10,
like we
12.
Do, yeah.
The people in general do, and they're under stress, they've got all these, so we need more nutrients. Our food doesn't have it in it, even when we're, you've got different soil content that's not been farmed right.
And not everyone's eating 99% organic.
No. Yeah. And so even though I pretty much try, and I know you do, to eat as much organic and do all those things, best cooking methods, we go to the markets on the weekend, so our food hasn't traveled around the whole world to get to us. So we're getting the best. It's just
not enough.
In some certain, so some and a lot of supplements, there's a lot of cheap ingredients that you can put into a supplement, and a lot of those nutrients you're very not likely to be deficient in for most people. Like we all have our own deficiencies.
Yeah.
But there are certain ones that the common things that most of us go through, we need a boost, and it's the same as maybe greens powder. I don't use or see greens as a boost to your vitamins and minerals because they're so low, but they're a boost to your phytonutrients.
Good points. I feel like too, there's a lot of confusion with girls wondering exactly what they might need. And say fish oils for example, is that something that every girl needs?
I don't know whether they need fish oils, but you definitely need a balance in your omega-3, omega-6. You can't be too inflammatory. And I mean, you've probably heard of this.
Fox.
Yeah, you would have heard that. I'll put that down there, so I'm not. But you would have heard that. I guess the majority of society is at the moment. We want to have about a 4-to-1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6. So more omega-6, believe it or not, than 3, because we just hear 6 is bad, but it's still needed for our immune system. But we're so pro-inflammatory that it's about 20 to 30 to 1 at the moment. So I would say everybody needs to either be reducing their omega-6, so their vegetable oils, which, you look at what's the cheapest, crappiest oil out there, it's canola oil, safflower, sunflower. They chuck that in anything because they can make it for nothing, and and it just boosts up our inflammation. It boosts up our oxidation status. So one, we need to cut back on that. 2, we need to add omega-3s in there, and there's a couple of ways you can have flax. The issue with flax is if you've got some vitamin or mineral deficiencies like B6, etc., you may not be able to get the breakdown of omega-3 to EPA and DHA, whereas if you have fish oils, you're guaranteed it. So it's, if I was treating somebody and they have any sort of inflammation or anything where I think, okay, their oxidation status is too high, or we need this for cardiovascular health, you need, like, if you want to go in and fix it, you need fish oils at the moment. That's the only way. So that's why you need it. Now the other thing with this, and I guess this is the main reason why a lot of these, it's not like we need a whole new supplement range. It's only, you only make something because it's not around. And the other main thing that to me seems like it should be in every fish oil is vitamin D, because it's so important for
I haven't heard much about vitamin D until you explained to me, so can you kind of go over why we have that in ours?
It's actually, I'm not normally the word cancer, I'm not, you're scared to mention anything can help with that, but
can open a can of worms.
Yes, yeah, and you've got to be like, well, no, even though there's plenty of things that you can do, but vitamin D, you're pretty much universally allowed to say, okay, it's very, very strong on improving colorectal cancer, breast cancer, renal cancer, bowel cancer. You know, so it's one of those things that, yeah, we can get it from the sun, but one, I think it's something like SPF 15 blocks like 98% of vitamin D conversion. So
wow.
if you're chucking, you know, it's good to put, you put sunscreen on. You don't want to get burnt, but we need to have some sun exposure without sunscreen.
Yeah.
The main way that we get it is through the sun, and one, in climates where there's not much sun, you're not getting much. Two, if you're a sunscreener cover-upper, you're not getting it enough.
Yeah.
And like vitamin D is, there's starting to become a lot of research at the moment, and we're talking gut health as well. So important. So, and treatment-wise, someone with Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, that'd be the main two, and IBS as well. But
so there's enough in one capsule just to have every single day.
So what we've done is in the Omega Fox, there's 5,000 international units, which is at a treatment dose, but there's also 1,000 in the Girl Power multivitamin, and it just makes sense. This vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin. You've got fat in obviously your Omega. Why, I don't understand why other than people want you to buy 10 different supplements, and that's what frustrates me the most as like practitioner supplements. The same thing. You used to
get so frustrated with me when you come over and see my bench of Sups. You'd be like, ah.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the same for me, and it frustrates me because you can see they know the research because they put the good stuff in for practitioner stuff. They put it in, but then you go, well, why did you leave that out? And the only reason is because they have another formulation here that they want you to buy. And I mean, the other reason is price too. So every ingredient, some ingredients are super cheap, some which are very, very expensive, and they'll leave that out and use the cheap version, or they'll go, well, no one's going to pay $60 for this. So but people will buy two at 30 each because people feel like you're getting more with more things you buy.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a combination of price versus what they think people would do. So they pull out this from that supplement.
Overall, though, this is definitely something that you would think most females would need.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And just one a day?
Yep, just one a day. Unless, again, you need
really deficient.
Yeah, with treatment, and then you'd go really heavy for a little bit, you know, maybe a couple of months.
Yeah.
If you've got inflammation or any cardiovascular disease, if we're trying to balance hormones too, we may, but someone will tell you to do that. But as a maintenance, one a day for this is perfect for your vitamin D.
Yeah, awesome.
For your fish oil and your EPA and DHA as well.
Cool.
And yeah.
So we'll move on to Girl Power. So you said that there's vitamin D in here. What are some of the other key ingredients that you put in here and why? Because I feel like a lot of multivitamins, they claim to have 200 vitamins and minerals. And like you said, the quality might not even be there. But is there enough in there to even be sufficient to make a difference in our overall health?
Yeah, well, it all depends on the supplement. There's certain things, minerals, we actually need quite a lot of them. So I use calcium as an example. You know, if we wanted to actually make a supplement or a multivitamin with a decent amount of calcium, the whole supplement would be calcium.
Right.
And so you can't put anything else in. So really for a multivitamin, you shouldn't be wasting space in that with calcium.
Okay.
The second thing you shouldn't be doing is there's an ingredient called calcium carbonate, and check any supplement you have for that, because if you've got it, you want to chuck your supplement out. Virtually. It's so poorly absorbed unless you've got very strong stomach acid.
Right.
And it's in there because it's cheap, the cheapest supplement of all time. So you basically can put it in there. No one knows that, hey, this doesn't absorb well. And you go, oh, look how much calcium's there. Not one of the practitioner supplements on earth will have calcium carbonate in it. They would not do it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many better forms. And that's what I've spent the most amount of time with Girl Power, is making sure every single form is the most absorbable. 2 is the most useful. So there's B6, the difference between it, and you won't even look at it. If you look at a supplement, it'll say pyridoxine phosphate. This one will say pyridoxine 5-phosphate, which sounds the same thing virtually. One is an active form that is at least 5 times more absorbable, useful.
And your vitamins are mainly for energy, right?
There's one vitamin you do never, ever want to be deficient in. It's critical to our adrenals, critical to, it's massive. So
stress.
B5 and B6 in there are really critical. I don't know anyone that's not stressed or not, you know, that.
Yeah, I don't think I know anyone.
It's rare when you go, hey, how you feeling? Oh God, I'm just too relaxed.
So busy, I'm so stressed. I mean, if we were going to round it up, it really does, it's going to help your stress levels, it's going to help your skin, it's going to help your energy.
Energy big time as well. And it's just going to make sure that any essential processes in digestion, you know, anti-aging as well, which is important for a lot of people, and not just anti-aging. It's not just looking good, it's also saying, hey, I don't want my blood vessels to be, you know, oxidized and have lots of issues in them. So I'm keeping younger in all of my processes, my liver, etc. So that's what it does.
For sure, that's amazing. And like I said, on the page, it's going to have so much more information. And if you do have any questions, you guys can always just jump over to my Instagram or on the squad forum, and Levi and myself will be able to help you out as well. Let's move on to our last and final sup. This is definitely my favorite. Obviously, if you were to purchase the 3 of these, you do get value for money and they all have their benefits. But if I was to choose one sup, this one for me is pretty special because, well, it helps me that time of the month not be so moody. Helps with my cramps and my bloating as well. But when it comes to recovery, I'm training 3 times a week and I'm walking every single day. I work a lot of hours. I'm a mum. I'm always busy. Like I said, I'm always stressed. I just am. When it comes to recovery, that is so important for me. And magnesium and zinc are 2 supplements that I have always been very passionate about and learned a lot about, and they contain in Recovery Squad. So could you just elaborate a little bit more on why we need those supplements?
I think you pretty much did it. Magnesium, like I said, there's really magnesium, B6 and zinc. You never want to be deficient in these 3 either. And the shitty thing is that stress leaches these from our body. And so you can't, you almost never see anyone, the stats say that at least 60% of the population is deficient in magnesium, similar for B6 and zinc. And when you give someone a magnesium supplement who is stressed and who is exercising a lot, that they get a benefit straight away. Now, that benefit, they'll get an improvement, and then normally, you know, it doesn't just keep, you know, you're like, oh, my muscles are feeling better, my energy's better. And then sometimes you forget that, hey, this is the reason why, and you've supplemented, but it always gets a massive benefit. And now, the other herbs and ingredients in there are being designed to help calm people down just a little bit, just on a tonic level, because what's our issue? We are stressed and we're over anxious and over. So one, we're giving the nutrients to, I guess, provide what you need to recover from that. 2, we're giving some key herbs to help you recover, but also just
calm our nervous system down.
Yeah, calm your nervous system down so that we don't get deficient as quickly.
And I find magnesium just helps me sleep better. I get a deeper sleep with it as well. And zinc is amazing for my skin as well. Like, I've always had acne problems, and I find having zinc in my diet as a supplement really does help improve it as well. Well,
it can for some if you're deficient in it. You know what I mean? So
this is definitely my favorite supplement out of the 3, but obviously all have their benefits, so thank you for talking with us. But squad girls, definitely, if you've got any other questions, ask in the forum, because Levi's always on there, and so am myself. If you're not on the squad forum, just post on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions.